Hey guys, what is up? It is Castle Perfect here once again, bringing you a new Wi-Fi battle match here on my Pokemon Black 2 version. And this time I'm battling against some guy called John from the Smogon forums. You know, I was just visiting Smogon once again using the Battle Finder. For those of you who are actually interested in the Battle Finder, which is a search machine to get some Wi-Fi matches, you know, going on as fast as possible, I can leave it down in the description. You just have to tell me in the comment section below. But nonetheless, guys, let's go ahead and get started into the narration here. My opponent is going to lead off with a regular. I'm going to start off with my Coco version 2. He's basically going to go for an Earthquake as soon as I set up my Stealth Rocks, because at the beginning I was honestly thinking this guy would go for the Stealth Rocks himself, because regular Rocks just pretty much love to do that. But as much as I can probably guess at this point is that his regular Rock is a totally offensive regular Rock, when I actually noticed that after this turn, when I go for the Seismic Toss, he goes for a Drain Punch instead of something else. So I was very confident that this guy, or I was very sure that this guy is actually a physical attacker instead of any wall or any setup guy or whatsoever. It just basically has a very offensive move pool, so that makes him, you know, a lot stronger than the usual regular Rocks. And that's why I gotta be careful at this point. I'm gonna go for the Milkshake. I don't know why I always have to say milkshake whenever I'm like reading milk drink, but okay, I go for the Milkshake and I recover some HP. He hits me with a Drain Punch, by the way. You saw that, and that was a critical hit. So I gotta go for another Milkshake just to recover all my HP up and you know, be fresh as I can. Just be fresh, you know. And he's gonna go for the T-Wave at this point and basically gonna paralyze me. I'm gonna go for the T-Wave myself on the next turn, because basically I don't want this guy to be running around being faster than my La Leche, because nobody can be faster than La Leche. Come on, man. Let's be real here. So I'm gonna paralyze this regular Rock, and he probably will stay in or something. I don't know what was his you know, train of thoughts at this point, but he also is gonna make a switch at this point. But I'm gonna switch out into Weirdo. Now Weirdo is the guy of this match. Weirdo is just a monster, okay? You will see it down. You will see him go down on this guy later on. So he's gonna make a switch into Marowak himself. Marowak is gonna go for the substitute. Now something told me that this guy was about to do that, so I was like, hell, I will not use my personal substitute. I will go for a Psychic. Let's see what this guy is packing. But it looks like he's just trying to get a sub, you know, go for the Focus Punch and that kind of moves. So I did not allow him to do that. At this point, you know, because I saw his team at the preview, you know, the team preview at the beginning of the match, I saw that he had an Absol. So I was very confident that he would make a switch into the Absol to avoid the damage coming from the Psychic. So instead I used that turn to my advantage and went for the Heal Bell and got rid of the paralysis that La Leche got from the Regirock on his team, alright? So this guy makes a very weird move here. He goes for the Psycho Cut and actually hurts my La Leche instead of my Weirdo, of course. Actually, I was thinking he might go for the Pursuit or Night Slash, but maybe he was predicting the switch and instead go for the Psycho Cut, but he could have gone for Superpower, which would have been a better choice. I don't even know if he's got Superpower, but nonetheless, it doesn't really matter. So I'm gonna go for the T-Wave here, trying to paralyze the Absol. I end up paralyzing the Weezing, and you know, my narration is actually walking behind, and I gotta step it up. So he's gonna go for the Will-O-Wisp, trying to get a burn on my Milk Tank. And I make a switch into Weirdo because, you know, why would I not do that? I still have Heal Bell, which can always allow me to get rid of all the status problems. So he makes a switch into the Chimecho here as I go for the substitute, because at this point I wasn't really, I was very certain that he would make a switch, knowing that Weezing is weak against Weirdo, and Weirdo can go for the Psychic and just basically one hit KO that Weezing. So I was very sure that he would make the switch. Now I took that to my advantage and went for a substitute. He's gonna go for the Taunt, which I actually also predicted, because I've faced a couple of Chimechos in the past, and I know what these guys can do. They can be a very big pain in the ass, and I know they can pack Taunt as well. So instead of going for the Calm Mind or anything like that, I actually thought, you know, a better moveset would be using Charge Beam instead of Calm Mind, because, you know, you can be prevented by other Pokemons that can use Taunt, and that will not work out in the end. So Charge Beam is the best to go, also with the combination of Substitute and Leftovers. And it does work in this game. It does work, guys. We'll see it down in this video, you know, later on, that Weirdo definitely, you know, makes a difference. It's weird to see this guy raping faces, because I myself have never seen a guy like this raping faces so much. But anyways, I'm gonna go for another Charge Beam here, and my substitute wears off after he hits me a few times. And you know, hitting this guy and getting some special attack boost, that's what I'm actually looking for. I'm trying to charge myself up as much as I can, get as much special attack boost as I possibly can, and the taunts also wears off, and this guy probably thought that I would go for a substitute once again, but I actually predicted his taunt, and instead of going for another substitute, I went for the charge beam, not wasting a single turn. So that works out in my favor. Still getting those special attack boosts, which I will definitely need later on this game. I also need a substitute at the end of this match because if I have to face Absol, he will probably just KO me in one shot. I don't know just how strong Absol is, or if that Absol is actually, having some weird ass moves that can, finish off my weirdo in one shot. So I have to be careful, take precautions, and stay cautious and go for a substitute and get a nice line of defense. So he's gonna go for the Psycho Shock here once again, or something like that. I think it's Psycho Shock. It also hits you on the defense side instead of a special side, being a special attack, which is kind of weird, but it works. I'm gonna go for the charge beam. I get a critical hit, which was inevitable because at some point I've hit this guy so many times with the charge beam that at some point I was like, I'm definitely going to get a critical hit at some point. So that's what happens here. Now that he is able to send out his Registeel, which at this moment, until the day of today, I still don't know why this guy did not send out his Absol and scared me out. I don't know why he did not do that. But instead he decided, it would be a better choice to bring out my Regirock and, face him. I don't know what he was thinking, but it pretty much gave me the opportunity to go ahead and set up a substitute. And I'm gonna hit him with everything that I've got, and that's Psychic. Psychic is very powerful, it's stabbed, and I also got a few of special attack boost because of the charge beam, but it still wasn't enough to take out the Regirock, which is unfortunately going to cost me my substitute. And at this point I'm like, you know what, I'm just gonna go for the substitute as many times as I possibly can. He's definitely going to miss the Stone Edge at some point, and if he doesn't miss the Stone Edge, he probably will get a Paralyzed Hex before I actually have less than enough HP to set up another sub. So I'm pretty safe on that side. I know something is gonna happen pretty soon, so I might as well just keep those substitutes coming from left to right, from back to up, or whatever. I don't even know what I said there, but anyways, he's gonna go for the Stone Edge. He's gonna miss, as I was already predicting that would happen at some point in this match, and this is basically where everything just goes straight down to hell for this guy, because I am gonna go for the charge beam. I'm gonna finish off his Regirock, and what I was trying to do at this point was get another special attack boost to face Absol. I want to take Absol in one shot down because it can definitely be a enormous threat against my weirdo. And for some odd reasons, I still don't understand why he did not switch out, or basically brought out his Absol to take down or to take care of my weirdo. I still don't know what was wrong with this guy. But anyways, it works out in my favor. I go for the charge beam, take out his Alomomola, which also is Alomomola if you read it backwards, in one shot, and that's just great. Weirdo is doing some great work here, and he's gonna bring out his Marowak here, and of course, as we all know, we'll try to go for the substitute, which of course will not work out in the end, and he will be a little bit of a biatch here, honestly, because he will be zigzagging back and forth, switching between Absol and Marowak. I just did not want to give that Marowak the chance to set up a substitute and just ruin my plans. So what's gonna happen from here on, he's basically going to predict my Psychic, go into Absol, and then predict the charge beam, and then go into Marowak, and then predict another Psychic and go back into Absol, and that's basically what's gonna happen from now on, basically until I believe 10 turns or something like that. I just did not want it to switch move because it could be any second that this guy will be thinking like, okay, now I'm gonna stay and I'm gonna off predict. I just did not want that to happen, especially not against Marowak, because if Marowak is allowed to set up a substitute, this guy could probably rape me, seriously. It's a danger, It's not like I'm gonna lose the match, it's not like a game breaking moment, it's more like it's a shame if I actually let a weirdo die here just because of my stupidity trying to off-predict people. So that's basically what happens here. I go for the Psychic, he once again predicted that, and goes out into Absol. Absol, of course, is not affected by the Psychic attack moves because of its part Dark. That's actually the only part of it that the thing actually is. It's only type Dark. And I'm gonna go for another charge beam. He's basically gonna predict that once again and go back into the Marowaks. So he's basically just zigzagging back and forth, just waiting for that moment until I run out of power points. And you know, he's just waiting until that moment that I actually predict the Absol to come in so that he can go for the substitute, and I just basically facepalm myself when I go for the charge beam against the Marowak. And you know, at some point I will do that, you know, don't worry. At some point, I think it's on this turn, I go for the charge beam and I get him off guard, which was like, ah, yeah, I just got you right there, son. You know, we will not be zigzagging all over the place. Unfortunately, it's not on this turn. I'm sorry. It basically predicts another Psychic, goes back into Absol, and once again brings out Marowak, and I go for the Psychic, and right here was when things just basically was game over for this guy, because there is no way that Absol has any move that can hit more than 2 turns, that can, you know, hit me more times in one turn, such as double hit or something like that. It's just basically game over for this guy. I'm gonna go for the Psychic, take out his Marowak, take out his Whizzing, and at the end he's probably gonna try to take out my substitute, of course, with this last Pokemon, which is Absol. And no, it's not gonna work. It's pretty much good game. He goes for the Psycho Cut right here, which I did not understand why. Once again, guys, until the day of today, it's still unclear for me why this guy actually chose Psycho Cut instead of Night Slash, Sucker Punch, Pursuit, something like that that's super effective against Weirdo. But nonetheless, it's gonna be a very good game. Actually, a total sweep for Weirdo. It was 6-0 for me. That was, you know, it was a good game for me at least. And, you know, Weirdo did a great job. Musharna is a very good Pokemon, guys. I will thank you guys for watching once again. And leave down a comment if you guys want to help me out. It helps out tremendously for my video making experiences and all the experiences that I gather doing videos on YouTube. So, guys, thanks for watching once again. And I will talk to you guys later.